I guess we'll come back to the Premier League debate in a second. Here's where myself is going to get a bit heated. I have been saying many times on these podcasts, there's a certain Liverpool striker. I've been saying on Twitter and everything. I do not like this striker. I have a disdain for Roberto Firmino. Chris, give me your thoughts on Roberto Firmino, please.
I had actually an argument with my dad the other night about Roberto Firmino. Okay. Because in our house, he's heralded as one of the best players I think I've seen play for Liverpool. And there's very, very good reason for that, okay? Back in between 2016 to 19, I'd say, he was underappreciated. The work he did off the ball was unbelievable. And it's still happening. That's still happening. And, you know, a load of people actually came and now he's the most underrated player. But it's gone so far that way that it's gone the other way. He gets excused for making just the most basic passes wrong. He misses so many chances. Look, I'm not saying Bobby needs a break from the team, but I think he needs to buck his act up in training because, like, he's obviously Jurgen Klopp loves him, you know, and obviously, of course, he does. But he gets a free ride every time, and that does frustrate me. But then I look at it and think, you know, I look at and I see Takumi Minamino, who I really like as well. But again, the same issues are there in the fact that his end product isn't good enough. That's just it.
Yeah. He hasn't scored in what now? 19 games?
Something like that.
19 games for a striker. Not a defensive striker, as you know, a lot of Liverpool fans love to herald him as. He's not good enough. And I will keep saying we should have gone for... I mean, I guess it opens up the floor for Mo Salah and Sadio Mane to have the seasons that they do. But if you've got the firepower, and maybe even Firmino drops back a bit and we have a creative attacking midfielder. But even then, we have Thiago for that now. We have Thiago that's going to be creating chances.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. But I just think if you get the Roberto Firmino back, and to be fair, I think he's still doing the work off the ball. It's all about on the ball now. Yeah. And that's where he needs to improve. And yeah, it's difficult. It's a difficult one to say. Do you drop him? Because there will be a drop if you drop him.
Yeah.
Especially without Mane now, who has coronavirus.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully he'll be back for the Everton game. Hopefully the Everton game will still happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah. But then you got Jota, who's come in and he's already looked really on the ball, especially on the ball. But yeah, it's a difficult one with Bobby. I do appreciate that. And especially because a lot of fans over-appreciate him instead of under-appreciate him now.
Yeah, he is now heralded as just some sort of god tier that people can't actually sort of critique him because he was so underappreciated for so long. I mean, I was one of those that said, like, yeah, he's great. And like you said, from 2016 and filling the boots of where Coutinho left, he kind of carried us over into the transition of what we are now. After Coutinho left, bringing in Mo Salah and Mane, those three really gelled together really well. And with that, Firmino's kind of dropped into the back now. He's sort of not heralded as well. I mean, for me, not heralded as highly at all because of that on the ball. You know, sort of. I don't know what it is. Is it a lack of confidence? Does he not like attacking as much? Has he sort of enabled that self-fulfilling prophecy to come about and be like, yeah, I'm the defensive striker. I don't have the sort of reputation for scoring goals. Let me just create.
Yeah, well, but he hasn't really created that much either. Which, I mean, I said in my player ratings for Rush the Cop, as you mentioned earlier, the only thing that stopped him being, I think, level with Adrian on the worst of the pitch is his assist for Salah. That's the only thing that stopped it. But yeah, I think what you're saying has some truth to it. Is the fact that he doesn't get criticised for missing chances. That is the big thing for me. When Mo Salah misses chances, he gets absolutely abused. Right? Firmino gets nothing because he's not expected to score goals. If I put Jordan Henderson in the positions that Bobby Firmino gets in, I expect Jordan Henderson to score. And if he misses, this man's the striker, you know? He needs to score.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if we had, you know what, put Divock Origi in those positions that Firmino was in. Is he going to finish? I mean, he's going to finish more of them, but you know, he's not going to finish all of them. Let's be honest.
No.
The one against Villa, I think it was a chip shot opportunity, or it was through a wrong goal. Salah put him through, and he went for a chip shot. It was weak. It was a bad shot. Put Divock Origi in that situation, he might have scored.
Yeah. Well, who knows? It's a real. But then you think, would Divock Origi be in that position?
Yeah, I guess.
And that's why Firmino is on the other side, is that he does get in the positions, which is why, you know, and he had the third most shots in the league last year, so he gets in the positions. It's just about improving his conversion rate.
And how do you go about that? Is it his confidence dropping, or is it just his? I mean, you know, we saw Mourinho, sort of weigh into Dele Alli for being a lazy trainer. Is that the same with Firmino? Do you think? Do you reckon he's lazy on the training field?
No. I think it's confidence. I don't think any Jurgen Klopp player is lazy, because otherwise he'd be out the door.
Yeah.
You know, Mamadou Sakho was the prime example.
Yeah.
You know, if you mess around, you're out.
Yeah.
And I think for Bobby, I think it just needs one scrappy goal to just get it going. Maybe just like the hat-trick he scored against Arsenal. Maybe he needs a penalty. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just something to get him going again, because especially in front of goal, because if we get that Firmino back, the swagger, the confidence that he usually has, that makes us a much, much better team.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, like thinking of all the goals that Firmino scored, it was just so like, it was like you look at the goal and think, you know what, I like that. Even if it was like a simple just tap in, it was like, you know what, that's cool. The no look passes that he used to do, you do think, has he lost his confidence? Because he was going around, as you mentioned, with so much swagger that it was sort of like it was amazing to see. And now you sort of just wonder, like, you know, what is this the drop off now of Roberto Firmino? Like, could this be his time to be, as you say, dropped? Does Diogo Jota fit in up front when Mane does return? That could be an option that we could see, because Jota can finish with either foot. Who knows? I mean, would you be opposed to Diogo Jota replacing Firmino for say 1 or 2 games? As you know, just for a bit.
I've been calling for Diogo Jota to come to Liverpool for 6 to 7 months, and I love him as a player. Okay, don't get me wrong. But he's not Firmino yet, and I don't think he'll ever be Firmino. I think he's got a lot of attributes that Firmino doesn't have. I think he's a lot more like Mane, even though he's not as quick. He's a lot more like Mane in terms of the way he gets into goal, into the way he gets shots off, the way he gets into goal scoring positions. And I think he's best inside off the left. But if he wants to play up front, I wouldn't be averse to it. Again, I wouldn't be averse to Minamino playing up front, because he's really impressed me so far this year. He scored against Man City. He scored against Arsenal in the Community Shield. Sorry, he scored twice against Lincoln. He just needs to get the ball rolling in the Premier League. But yeah, it's a difficult one with dropping Firmino, because it sounds so, you know, alien.
Yeah, it does. It does, and like you come back to, you know, like I was mentioning, the Coutinho times. When Coutinho left, it was Mane and Firmino. Those are the 2 guys that were filling the role, and you know, Salah coming in as well. And dropping Firmino, it's like, who do you put in there instead? I mean, Mane and Salah have both done, you know, stints up front. Could, you know, either Minamino or Jota cover in one of those positions? Say Jota comes in on the left and Mane goes up front, or Minamino comes in on the right and Salah goes up front. It's something. I mean, and then if we get more goals, we found the issue, and maybe take the back pocket cash and offload Firmino to Bayern Munich.
I wouldn't say that. I think that there will be a front 3 sale in the next 2 years. One of the 3 will go, and they need to really for Liverpool to get resale value. I don't know. I can't see anyone paying upwards of like 60 million for Firmino anyway. Is it worth him going? Do we transition him into the midfield's another one? You know, he could be a midfield player if he wanted to. He's got the legs. He's got the creativity. I don't know. It's a really, really difficult one.
The problem with moving Firmino into the midfield is that we've got too many midfielders. It's the same with Trent. If you move him to the midfield, we've got too many midfielders. We have so much depth there. Like, you know, we've got Thiago, Fabinho, Keita, Henderson. If we moved Firmino back, we have Trent, Wijnaldum. You know, we've got Curtis Jones coming through the ranks as well. So many fantastic players in that midfield. I mean, James Milner as well, who, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Leeds at this point, like say in January, and, you know, started his season there. But
yeah, maybe, and don't forget, and big shout out to Curtis Jones, by the way, because he came on and showed a lot of energy and desire against Villa.
one of the only players that did, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Liverpool Football Club in general is not in a crisis yet. Yeah. We have lost. Well, I'm going to put this into perspective here, because I know that a lot of people will click on this video expecting big rants. I'm going to put this into perspective here. Okay, we've won 3 games out of 4. We've played Chelsea and Arsenal already. We've beaten them. We're 3 points off the top. We're Premier League champions. It's not a crisis. A crisis is like Macclesfield, Bury. That's a crisis. Okay, not Liverpool.
Yeah, I do. I thing is, I do feel hard on by like sort of complaining about where our team is, and when in reality there are owners out there that just, you know, pardon the pun, bury clubs.
Yeah.
But like it's a fact. Like, there are so many teams down, like, you know, in the non-leagues as well, that are struggling, and then we're up here complaining about Roberto Firmino, you know, because he can't finish. I mean, all the players in the non-league can't finish, yet they love their players and they love their clubs.
Oh, so. Exactly. But then it doesn't give us a divine right to not complain at the same time. So exactly, it's just about finding the balance, and I think if we found the balance today of putting it into perspective and of just complaining a little bit, but we're not the only club to concede a lot of goals this weekend. So yeah.
I think that's why Joe isn't here right now. He's too ashamed to show his face after the result.